Our story begins in the ancient world, in a city named Ur of the Chaldees. Here lived a man named Abram, living an ordinary life among a large family. He lived among people who worshipped many gods. Then came a call, a divine communication. God spoke to Abram, "Leave your country, your family, and your father's house. Go to the land I will show you." In return, God promised a great nation, a great name, and blessing for all families of the earth. Yet Abram and Sarai had no children. Abram trusted immediately. He gathered Sarai, his nephew Lot, their people, and possessions. They set out into the unknown, a complete break from the past. In Canaan, Abram built altars to the Lord, consecrating the land and marking his faith. Abram's story begins with movement and faith, a plan that would unfold for generations. As Abram and Sarai grew older, the promise of a great nation seemed distant. Childless and ashamed by cultural standards, they felt sorrow. Descendants like the dust, a paradox against aging bodies, God reaffirmed a sacred covenant with Abram. To mark its permanence, God changed his name from Abram, exalted father, to Abraham, father of a multitude, father of many nations. Each time the name was spoken, it prophesied his future. Sarai's name became Sarah, not just a household princess, but a noble matriarch to nations, included in the covenant. God declared Sarah herself would bear a son. Kings would come from her. The promise grew concrete, personal, and tied to their identities. Abraham and Sarah became living embodiments of the covenant. Their names stood as faith against all odds. A foundation for nations and complex family dynamics was set. Years passed. Sarah remained barren, longing intensifying the weight of the promise. Following accepted custom, Sarah offered her Egyptian handmaiden, Hagar, to Abraham to bear a child. Hagar conceived, and household dynamics shifted. Hagar began to despise Sarah. Sarah felt threatened. Sarah blamed Abraham. Jealousy and pain fractured the home. Abraham deferred. Sarah dealt harshly with Hagar. Hagar fled, alone and desperate. An angel of the Lord met her, promising countless descendants and naming her son Ishmael. God hears. Strengthened, Hagar returned and bore Abraham's first son Ishmael, loved and recognized for 13 years. Yet tensions endured, duty and hope holding a fragile peace. Both women sought security and significance through the same man. A coming test would send two brothers on divergent paths. Ishmael's birth brought joy, but did not complete the covenant. 13 years later, God declared 90-year-old Sarah would bear a son. They would name him Isaac. He laughs, and the everlasting covenant would proceed through him. A clear line fell between the sons. Sarah bore Isaac. The household brimmed with joy and laughter. At Isaac's weaning, Sarah saw Ishmael mocking the child. She demanded Abraham send away Hagar and Ishmael, refusing to share the inheritance. Torn between love for his firstborn, duty to his wife, and the promised son, Abraham grieved. God told him to heed Sarah, the covenant through Isaac. Ishmael would also become a great nation. At dawn he gave bread and water and sent Hagar and Ishmael away. When the water failed, God heard the boys' cry, showed a well, and saved them. Ishmael grew into a skilled archer. Tradition holds his descendants long inhabited the Arabian Peninsula, a foundation for many Arab nations. The promise continued through Isaac and Rebekah, whose twins, Esau and Jacob, rivaled from birth. Esau, the skilled hunter, was his father's favorite. Jacob, dwelling among tents, his mother's. Jacob, with his mother's help, stole the firstborn blessing. Esau vowed to kill him. Jacob fled to his uncle Laban. After 2 decades with wives Leah and Rachel, he fathered 11 sons and a daughter. Returning to Canaan, he feared Esau's approach with 400 men. He sent his family ahead and stayed behind, alone in the night. A mysterious man wrestled with him until dawn, striking his hip. Jacob would not let go. "I will not let you go unless you bless me." For his perseverance, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Isreal, for you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Isreal, read as "He struggles with God" or "God prevails," marked his transformation. His new identity became a nation's name, a people defined by a challenging relationship with God. Jacob, Israel, reconciled with Esau and settled in Canaan. His 12th son, Benjamin, was born. The sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. Their families became distinct tribes forming the Israelite nation. Joseph was sold, rose in Egypt, and the family settled there, multiplying. They left in the Exodus, journeyed the wilderness, and settled Canaan. 12 tribes shaped Israel's structure, each with its allotment. Though often acting independently, they were bound by their father Israel and the God of Abraham. Israel came to signify a man, a people, and a land. History, law, and faith trace back through Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. Tradition in the Islamic world links Ishmael to many Arab peoples. The Quran honors Ibrahim, Ismail, and Ishaq. It emphasizes Ismail helping Ibrahim build the Kaaba. Abraham is a common patriarch to Judaism and Islam.